Hello everyone. So this is the first of the two Tesla videos I'm going to make that basically just highlight my own experience of driving the Tesla. Now I have had this car for, it's just over 19,000 miles. So not far off 20,000 miles, 2 years of driving. And I'm going to do a video of my 5 reasons why you should buy a Tesla Model Y. Okay, so this is number 1, the Tesla charging network. There's no doubt that Tesla's charging network is a huge selling factor of their cars. You can drive pretty much anywhere in the UK or Europe, USA. There's loads of places you can drive around the world and take advantage of the Tesla network. It means that you can pull up to any of these chargers, you plug the car in, as long as you're all set up on the app with payment, you don't need to do anything. You are automatically billed for the charging. The Tesla chargers always seem to be very reliable. They're easily to find on the map. The car will precondition itself. And it just makes the experience of doing long distance driving so easy in the Tesla. Now, I will say that this is something that, a fact that I thought that would be important for me when driving the Tesla. But actually, I think I've used their charging network twice in 2 years. I do almost all of my charging at home. And even though I've done sort of close to 10,000 miles per year, it's not that often that I do long drives. So I bought the car, well, I didn't buy, but I leased it thinking, that the charging network would be a huge benefit to owning the car. It's made almost no difference to me. So although that is a massive selling point about Tesla, just be mindful of whether you need it that often or not, because if you don't, there are plenty of other alternatives. And I don't think that the charging network's made a big difference for me. But if you do lots of long distance driving, there's no doubt that their supercharger system it's the best system out there and will make ownership a lot easier. So number 2, the massive boot and the frunk. There's no comparison really. I don't know what you would have to get to have the amount of boot space in terms of literage that you get in the Tesla. And this is the weird thing. Something like the Polestar 4 is technically about the same size as the Tesla, but somehow the boot space is just not even close to the same size. Tesla done an incredible job of optimizing the space within the vehicle to give you so much room in the back. If you need to put suitcases in or go on family holidays, load the car up. It's one of the best that you can get for that. Obviously, there are big cars out there. The ID.7 is quite big. And then obviously there's the Kia EV9, which is huge. But the Tesla Model Y, they've done a very good job of optimizing the space. And the frunk at the front is big. It's one of the biggest ones you can get. So I can't see a reason why, if you've got a family and you've got 2 children and a dog, this car will not ever be a problem in terms of the space that you will need for family holidays. So the next one on the list is the low energy usage and great range. The Tesla's efficiency seems to be better than any other car we've tried. The Polestar was decent, not brilliant. The Ioniq 5 is perfectly fine, but again, it's not brilliant. When you consider, like, if you look at this shot of the trip computer here, you can see that my trip B is showing 18,493 miles, 260 watt hours per mile. So we're not far off 4 miles per kilowatt hour. That is phenomenal. And that's for 2 years worth of driving. If you look at the Ioniq 5 for the last year worth of driving, I think we're sitting about 3 to 3.1. So, I mean, we're talking 20 to 25% more efficiency from the Tesla Model Y. That's just my own personal experience. These are not scientific numbers. And my wife tends to drive the Ioniq more than I do. So maybe her driving style's worse. It uses more, I don't say worse, but uses more energy than mine does. I don't know. But there's no doubt that the Tesla have done a fantastic job of that. So even if the size of the battery, you can 75 kilowatt hour, I think it is in the Tesla Model Y. It depends what you consider the usable capacity, but at 4 miles per kilowatt hour, you're looking at, not far off 300 miles, 280, 270. And that's mixed driving, summer and winter in the UK. Yes, it's not near what the official numbers are, but they never are. Same with any car that runs on a fuel based engine. But still, getting not far off 300 miles per charge, I think it's fantastic. That's great range. So the next thing I've got on my list is the interface with the map system. Now, yes, it doesn't have Apple CarPlay, and that I do find to be slightly irritating, because it is quite nice to have the features that I have on my phone, like WhatsApp and all of those kinds of things on the screen. But having said that, you don't need your phone to run this car. It's kind of irrelevant. So you've got I like to use Apple Music in the car, and it's got its own app for that. So you just have to log in. Same with Spotify. It's got its maps built in. The maps work really well. They integrate with the traffic. And I have paid for the monthly data or connectivity system, so it means it always works. And the display is really good quality. There's no lag. If you go into different settings and make changes to any of the settings, that it's very snappy, very responsive. And then it's got some fun stuff as well. Like, it's got the games, it's got cameras, so you can record what's going on around the car. There's no doubt that they've done a fantastic job of creating an almost Apple kind of ecosystem with their app, and it's just super easy to use. There aren't that many buttons in the car, and that it can be irritating at times. But once you get used to the display and the way it works with the car, it's a great system. So the next thing on my list kind of ties into that one is the very reliable software on the app. The app on the phone is the best one I've used. The Ionic app is really good, but it doesn't do the key on your phone, as far as I'm aware, or if it does, that's not something we've actually bothered to set up. But it works really well. But the Tesla app is fantastic. It's 100% stable, never seems to go wrong, and it just works. It's very simple to use. Combine that with the interface in the car and the software, so the autopilot, all of those kinds of features, it never really goes wrong. Like, it might have a few quirks, you get the odd bit of phantom braking, but it's very stable. Doing the test drive of the Polestar 3, something went weird with the software. The map was kind of off. It was all glitchy. We had to stop, do a full reset of the display and the infotainment system, which took about a minute. Once that booted back up, everything was fine. But I've never had to do that in Tesla. Not once have I had to stop and figure out how to reset the infotainment system. It's never glitched out like that. So that's basically it, really. 5 things that I love about this car. It doesn't mean that I wish I was keeping it, because it's really nice to try new things. And there are some irritations with the Tesla, which I'll cover in the next video. But those are my 5 favorite things about the Tesla Model Y.